And we have our first number 1 overall seed. It goes exactly as we expected. The Duke Blue Devils, after their successful season, they earned that top spot. They will play in Greenville, South Carolina. So now we have to wait and see if the Buckeyes are headed to Greenville. We thought we might see them here. Duke will play 16-seeded Siena. You may remember that name. Siena beat Ohio State in the tournament. It's been a few years now.
It was an 8-9 game,
It was an 8-9 game a while ago. So here we go. 8-9 games Thursday, Greenville, South Carolina. We'll see if we hear the Buckeyes call. And there they are.
Look at you guys.
Exactly. The Buckeyes are headed to Greenville, South Carolina. They are going dancing for the first time in 4 years. If they win their first game, they will move on to play Duke.
TCU.
But first, they will have to beat the TCU Horned Frogs. It's kind of crazy. This is somewhat what we thought could happen. The Buckeyes really laid out everything. So it is TCU as the 9 seed with the Buckeyes having to play this. Let's get initial thoughts from everybody. Reimer, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I like this opportunity for Ohio State. The thing with TCU is they are the weirdest team in college basketball.
Weirdest mascot, too.
They will play up to anybody, and they will play down to anybody. They've got wins over Florida and Iowa State, Wisconsin, but they also have losses to New Orleans, Utah, and Notre Dame. I know Ohio State also beat Notre Dame, so there's a common opponent there, but the way that Notre Dame has trended from that meeting with the Buckeyes, it's gone way down for Notre Dame. So I still feel like I like Ohio State's matchup here. I like their advantage on the interior. They have better guards. It's a good matchup, I think.
All right, I do want to put up on the screen here, we have a comparison here. The Buckeyes 21-12, their best win we know over Purdue, just won the Big Ten. For TCU, they beat Florida.
They did.
That's big. Nicole, talk a little bit about this Horned Frog teams and what you know.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. I covered David Punch when I worked in Texas in high school. He is an elite basketball player. Obviously, he's young for the Horned Frogs. He leads TCU in points this season. And he's very young. I would compare him to kind of, the style of an Amari Bynum potentially for Ohio State. Off of Reimer's point, I really like this matchup because I think they're very even in a lot of ways, but I do think the Buckeyes have the upper hand in guard play specifically. Punch leads that for the Horned Frogs, but Ohio State has more playmakers for the Buckeyes. So the one thing that does make me a little nervous, and it's slightly confusing about this TCU team, is that they have beat some really good basketball teams, and then they've lost to some teams that they very much should have beaten. So
we know,
unpredictable.
We know they're playing TCU. We know they're in the bracket alongside of Duke. We also know that the 3 seed in that region will be Michigan State. So if they can make it on a long run, UCLA, that's already 3 Big Ten teams in this region. We're going to get the full bracket up for you in just a second. But Beam, your initial reaction, this doesn't look like the easiest bracket for Ohio State, although a UCLA team that they handled at home and a Duke team that a lot of people think could be a good matchup.
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, Duke's the overall number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be easy for anybody. They have been gettable at times this year. Now it's been few and far between for sure. We saw them kind of dog walk Michigan a few weeks ago, and I think that if you were a basketball fan watching that game from a Big Ten perspective, you were a little bit angsty about that. It's like, oh no, Ohio State doesn't stand a chance against them. But as far as the TCU matchup goes, Ohio State doesn't play high, they don't play low. They've kind of always played in the middle of the road this season. Mm-hmm. And I know that you guys were talking about some bad losses. Ohio State didn't have one bad loss this year, right? It just didn't happen. Maybe the Pittsburgh game on Black Friday, another buzzer beater, weird ending. That could be the one that you look at. But outside of that, they didn't. So you got to be feeling good about the first round matchup, right? And I know we call it March Madness for a reason. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. I know there's going to be a heavy Duke crowd. Guys, don't forget, this is a starved Buckeye fan base for the first time in 4 years. If you don't think there's going to be a lot of scarlet and gray in the crowd come Thursday and then hopefully on Saturday for that game, I think that you are wrong.
So let's take you through.
Are wrong.
We know this because 10 TV will be there.
Yes.
It is only an 8-hour drive, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not that far. Pack up your car. Grab some tunes. I don't know if CD players still exist, but want to take you through the entire bracket that the Buckeyes are in. We'll have the graphic up in just a minute, but they do have Kansas in their bracket out of the Big 12. Obviously, they're playing TCU, Michigan State in that bracket, and then the number 2 seed. Kind of surprising, Reimer, I'll bring you in. UConn gets the number 2 seed against the overall number 1 seed Duke. I think there was an argument to be made for UConn to be a 1 seed. It looks like, in their eyes, they were the 8.
Well, and what's interesting here with UConn being in the East, means that they can play to their home crowd as
Yeah.
well. They're not going to be in another region where we thought maybe if they won the Big East championship in the Big East tournament over St. John's, that they would be the one in Houston in the South. And I think that's a great thing for UConn being in the East, because now you've got a nice path. You've got UCLA potentially in your way, and then Michigan State's pesky. We know that Jeremy Fears he can be a little up and down sometimes, but he's a great playmaker for sure. So I think that's a nice path for UConn to have a nice little home court advantage.
If
too.
UConn wins their first round,
You can see up on the screen. Don't mean to interrupt you. You can see up on the screen. There is the bracket for that seeding right now.